But at the end of the day, with the human person, when you're pulling on the physical, you're also pulling on the spiritual. You can't separate those two. This comes into the counseling room. So I not only serve here with ABWE, I also serve as an elder in our church, and we're engaged in local church ministry. And I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with individuals who we're discipling, who they maybe struggle with depression, they struggle with pornography or lust or whatever their vice is. But you begin to scratch the surface and figure out, why is this person struggling in a given way? Sure, you're tempted by the pleasure that you get from that vice, but typically you're also not sleeping well. You're isolating yourself. You're not physically fit. You're not eating the right things. You're not getting sunlight. In other words, you're putting yourself in a position where you're very manipulable. And unfortunately, where we're at in the church right now and culturally is you have generations of Christians who have all allowed themselves to become very manipulable, very pliable. And we should be pliable with respect to the Word of God transforming us, but not the surrounding culture, and not the orthodoxies reigning in the surrounding culture. But that's what we have increasingly. And so it's critical that we're building men and women of God, but specifically men of God with resilience, self-made men who are not manipulable, but they're actually able to be agents to influence the world around them, which is, of course, what we're called to do in the Great Commission. That requires agency, making disciples, striving for the faith, for the advance of the gospel with all the Christians around you, right? Being on mission as the local church, as the people of God, being the hands and feet of Christ, proclaiming his word. That requires agency. That requires being proactive and not responsive. And so there's a whole mind-body calculus that goes into all of that. You're an integrated whole as a person. Of course, in the missions world, we're always dealing with that as well. We know that, you don't want to send somebody to hell with a full belly. You don't want to just be feeding people and not be giving them the gospel. But the second that you're getting out there and you're involved in people's lives and you're trying to win them to Christ and bring them into the church, there's physical needs that need to be addressed as well. So we've always felt as an organization here at ABWE, we want to be about proclaiming the gospel, but you can't do that without also proclaiming the gospel in deed. By not only proclaiming the love of Christ, but then demonstrating it tangibly as the need and the opportunity arises. And it's really easy for us to become all talk and no action too. So that affects things as well. But that paradigm that you're describing, SPIES and all that stands for, that has so many effects on everything that we're engaged in ministry.